Right, so for today's video, we have yet another example of medical professionals posting TikToks from work and then receiving a bunch of backlash. And this is all coming from this account right here called Angie Uncut. And as you can see here, the account is no longer available. This is just a screenshot of the account. It says no videos yet. But at this point, the account is gone. Now, something else you need to be aware of here is the clinic that Angie worked at, and it's Sansum Clinic. Now, they have actually released a statement since this whole situation happened. Obviously, we'll get to that, but first, let's actually talk about what happened here. So Angie recently posted a video. It was like a slideshow video that you get on TikTok, and the first slide was this one right here with a bunch of like the employees at this clinic, and it says, "Are patients allowed to leave you gifts?" Also, the caption of the video was "Guess the substance," and then as we go through the slideshow, it is basically a bunch of the employees posing by the like medical exam chair, and on the chair there's like a wet patch that people believe to either be like discharge or like the gel lubricant that they use. Either way, it's a video that really shouldn't have been posted publicly, especially with the way they've posted the video. They're kind of making fun of it, as we'll see as we go through this. I'm gonna blur it, you know, just out of respect for the clients. I'm sure they probably didn't want these pictures on videos being posted. So yeah, let's just take a look through. So this is the first one. I believe this is Angie in the picture. I'm not 100% sure. I've just seen a lot of people say that. But either way, just like posing next to this chair. Caption says yes. Another picture here saying, "And we love them so much." It's another member of staff. The next picture, another member of staff, all shapes and sizes. It's like a bigger wet patch on the chair. Again, another member of staff. This one says all shades and opacities. And then finally, another picture here with a bunch of employees, and it says, "Make sure to leave your healthcare workers sweet gifts like these." So yeah, I think it goes without saying, incredibly unprofessional. And especially if you're a client who goes to this clinic and you see this video, surely you're gonna start second guessing if you even want to go back, because you'll just be thinking, right, this is what they've posted publicly on their TikTok, kind of making fun of it. What are they saying when I leave, you know, like in private? And then for people who don't even go to this clinic, they also might second guess going to other clinics, right? Because they might be thinking like, oh, the staff going to be the same as the ones we've just seen on this like slideshow. Especially with something that can already be uncomfortable, you do not want to be picturing the fact that these medical professionals are going to be making fun of me as I leave. And regardless if they want to say like they weren't making fun of them, they were just posting a video, it's still just like unprofessional. Like, why have you posted that on TikTok? There's literally no reason for it. Now, since the original video was posted, which of course has been removed at this point, it has resulted in a bunch of backlash from the comment section that we can't see anymore, but also a bunch of response videos. For example, this video by a user called Ruby Monroe News. And by the way, Ruby's video giving her thoughts on this whole situation currently has just under 15 million views.
"This is totally normal. They put a gallon of KY up your choo-cha for the exam. It's going to come back out. Even if they hadn't done the exam, this is also normal. Ladies, this is nothing to be embarrassed about. These women are just weird. They clearly do not like their jobs. They do not like fellow women. Like, this is just insane."
And then a reoccurring thing that has been brought up by a lot of people, Ruby goes on to say that she would not go back to this clinic if she had been before.
I would not go back to that practice. Can you imagine going and being a patient and then seeing this later? Like, was that me on the table? I imagine there's going to be a meeting tomorrow morning. I hope there is. But it does seem like so many people were in on this one. But what do y'all think? Sound off.
Now, another video I saw was by a user called Life Beyond the Clipboard, who is a healthcare provider, and she gave a thought on the situation.
The healthcare providers who thought it'd be a great idea to post photos of what their patients left behind on an exam table paper after a sensitive exam. What is wrong with you? We live in a time where patients don't trust us, and you just gave them another reason not to.
She then goes on to explain how these exams can be uncomfortable already, and this is just a massive breach of trust.
You know that these exams put patients in a vulnerable position, and a lot of them do not like these exams. They already feel uncomfortable. They feel uncomfortable with themselves. They feel uncomfortable with somebody looking, and here you are just putting it on the internet, thinking it was funny. What a massive breach of trust. What a massive breach of professional ethics. What was this for? It wasn't for education. No. Was it for likes? Was it for views? Tell me, what made you think it was a good idea to post this?
Yeah, I think the honest answer is that it was for likes and views. And I mean, the view side of it definitely worked, right? A lot of people have seen the situation, but the like side of it, not so much. Another final example of the response videos that I've seen, there have been like plenty of response videos. I've just kind of picked a few that I saw. This one is from the real Carol C. And Carol goes on to say that this is very insensitive, but also, like, how did they think that this was going to go well?
But regardless, this is very insensitive for people who go to the doctor thinking that they're, being checked, and then to see that that same clinic where they go, their staff is posting this on social media. I don't understand how they thought this was going to be viral in a good way, or they were just going to break the internet. I don't know. I just hope that the patients that go to that clinic really do a report, because this is not okay. It's definitely not okay. We always hope that they are professional people, but obviously you have a group of people. It's not even one. This is a group of people.
Now, obviously at this point, the clinic had to respond, right? We don't have a response from Angie herself yet, but the clinic have actually released a statement. They post on their Instagram account and it says, "We share the concern raised by a recent social media post at one of our care sites and took immediate action once we became aware. We take this matter very seriously and are conducting a full review. Patient trust and dignity are always our top priority, and any behaviour that violates those standards is unacceptable. The individual who posted the content is a former employee and was not employed with us at the time of the post. Any other staff shown are part of an internal investigation and are on administrative leave pending the results." Okay, so a few key details that we're seeing here, right? They're saying that the person who posted this is a former employee and in fact wasn't actually employed at the time of posting the video. Obviously does seem to be employed at the time of taking the pictures. She's wearing the uniform, she has like the name badge, whatever else. At the time of actually posting it, she wasn't employed. Now, as we're going to see in a bunch of the response videos in just a second, a lot of people don't actually believe this part of the statement. They don't believe that she was a former employee and didn't work there at the time of posting. But either way, I don't really think it matters anyways, right? Because she was an employee at the time of taking the pictures. Clearly the pictures were taken over a decent length of time, right? Because the slideshows were clearly shot on different days. And also, from what we're reading here, because I would assume that they would mention it otherwise, the rest of, or at least the majority of the other employees that are shown in the video are still currently employed. And there was quite a lot that were shown in the video, right? I mean, they have said here that any other staff shown are part of an internal investigation and they're on administrative leave and pending the results. So who knows what's going to happen? But I would assume, bearing in mind the situation and also bearing in mind like how big the backlash is in terms of like how many people are talking about it, they're going to be in some deep water. Now, like I just mentioned, this statement has also resulted in a bunch of response videos. There's one here from a user called House Drama, who, like I just mentioned, doesn't seem to overly believe the statement.
Now, allegedly, this is the woman who was the former employee that posted this video but didn't work for the facility at the time of posting it. Which, this is just my personal opinion, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me that a former employee of a healthcare facility would just post a random video featuring all of these other healthcare workers that she was working with, just randomly, even though she doesn't work there anymore.
I do think that that part of the statement could be true, right? Like, she doesn't work anymore, but still has the pictures that they took and answered a question, I guess. I mean, the caption on screen is answering a question, right? Like, did people bring you gifts? I don't know if that's what her content was, because again, her account's gone, right? So maybe her content was answering questions about her previous job. I'm not sure. But again, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it overly matters, right? It is a former employee, and the majority of the people who are in the video are current employees, it seems.
I don't know about you guys, but it looks like they're going to have to get a whole new staff for that Santa Barbara facility that this happened in, because it looked like almost everybody that worked in the facility was featured in the videos. And not one of them advocated for the patients and said, we shouldn't post this because 1, it's inappropriate, and 2, it's patient privacy, and 3, it's just disgusting.
Yeah, you would like to think that maybe there is someone that wasn't seen in the videos because they said, like, this is very inappropriate. I mean, who knows? And as we just heard in the video, a lot of people are questioning, like, are they just going to have to get, like, full new staff because there is quite a lot of people in the video? Again, we don't really know the outcome here, right? They're saying they're doing some investigation. I'm not really sure what they have to investigate. It seems pretty cut and dry what happened, right? They took the pictures and it was posted by a user. I think the only outcome here that could make the situation slightly better is if they just, like, made the stain themselves with, like, water or something to try and do, like, a funny video. Because I guess that does make it better than actually, like, making fun of an actual client who's there. But either way, it still just ruins the reputation anyways, right? Because any clients who go to that clinic after seeing that video are going to be like, right, are they gonna do that to me? Like, is that what's gonna happen when I leave? But saying that, as we can see in this video by the real Carol C, who we mentioned earlier, she actually made a part 2 after the statement was released, and she mentions, like, no matter what it was, it's still inappropriate.
Now, a lot of people in my comments have said it was probably lewd. It doesn't matter what it is. It's very unprofessional for them to do this, because if you were a patient and you see this to a clinic you attend to, you're not gonna think it's lewd, especially if you know what happened there.
And then finally, we have a response video here from Ruby Monroe News, who who posted like the original video we mentioned earlier, that is probably the biggest video on this situation. Actually, earlier when I was recording the video, it was on like 14.5 million, I think we showed. It's currently on 15.8. Just literally from me recording this video. So it's definitely gone big at this point. But either way, in this follow-up video, Ruby says something that I think is important here, and that's not to let people like this deter you from getting the healthcare that you need.
They're trying to do some damage control. And ladies, do not let these mean girls deter you from getting the healthcare you need. They are clearly just not worth your time, not worth the effort. Don't worry about it. Go get the healthcare you need. I guarantee you this is probably a one-off situation. The whole thing was weird that she wasn't even an employee at the time. I don't know that I believe that.
So yeah, that's basically the situation at this point. I can imagine there's going to be a lot of panic in the clinic at the minute, especially with like management after seeing the situation kind of play out. Maybe we'll get a follow-up statement as to what has actually happened and what action they've actually took. Until then, I doubt we're going to get any real updates. But with that all being said, I'd love to know your opinions in the comment section down below on everything that we spoke about in today's video. What do you think of the situation, but also what do you think should happen next? What do you think the appropriate action should be? And yeah, if you did enjoy, leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff. And also if you're interested in some other content, me and Emily have a channel. We recently uploaded like a road trip vlog if you're interested in that. We've got a new video coming out in a couple of days. And yeah, until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, goodbye.